This Week in Richmond is made possible in part by Alpha Natural Resources, an energy company dedicated to respecting the land. Alpha Natural Resources, we power the world through the energy of our people. Everywhere there are lighting poles, there's one more opportunity to save money. Intelligent Illuminations provides cost-effective wireless lighting solutions for roadway or area outdoor lights. Kanawha Valley Arena, Virginia's cowboy town, hosts Civil War reenactments, ATV rodeos, mud bogs, diesel truck pulls, and high school rodeo finals. The Virginia Chamber of Commerce, the voice of the Virginia business community, working in legislative, regulatory, and political arenas to promote the free enterprise system. Additional support is provided by these sponsors. And by the members of Virginia's public television stations. Thank you.
Welcome to This Week in Richmond, and a special welcome to two members of the House of Delegates, class of 2006. Delegate Annie B. Crockett-Stark from Southwest, Delegate Roslyn Tyler from Southside. So we appreciate the two of you all being here and informing our viewers about some of the issues that you've been working on or your colleagues have been working on as we approach the last days, last weeks here of the session. So Delegate Tyler, let me start with you. And Delegate Crockett-Stark, if she mentions something and you all want to talk back and forth, you can just ignore me if you like.
Well, I guess I can start. We're approaching the last 2 weeks of the General Assembly, and of course, the transportation plan to come up with a compromise transportation plan. We know it won't be suitable and beneficial to everyone, but if we can get one that we can generate enough money for road repairs and maintenance and hopefully new roads for the Commonwealth. And that's one of my biggest issues because the proposed tolls on I-95 was going to be in the central of my district right there in Sussex County. And we have been lobbying and calling the governor, having rallies, attending public hearings with VDOT in opposition to the tolls on 95 in Sussex County. And we know that we need a sustainable, dedicated source of revenue, but the tolls wasn't an option for Southside Virginia. That's just our basic way of survival. We travel to Richmond for health care, for our jobs. Our children travel 95 for their education. That's just our basic means of survival. And putting a toll in an already economically depressed area, already with an unemployment rate of 8.5 in some areas, and almost 10.0 in the city of Emporia. That was going to have a significant impact on our particular area.
And I'm sure your constituents know, but we can let Delegate Crockett-Starks and the rest of our viewers know that the bill that then passed out of the House took the tolls off.
That's right.
So the tolls are not in that.
That's
that
right.
bill.
And I consider that a victory. No tolls on I-95 and just the economic impact on businesses and our constituents would have been devastating.
Delegate Crockett-Stark?
Well, I'll follow up on what Roslyn said. We're going to talk roads, it looks like.
That's right.
And both of us are rural.
Rural Virginia.
We belong to the Rural Caucus.
Yes.
And Southside and Southwest are very similar in their economic situations.
Right.
So there's a couple of things. I carried one bill, and I actually dropped my bill because I didn't need it. I dealt with Sean Connaughton, the Secretary of Transportation, and we had school buses going down Fancy Gap Mountain on Interstate 77, and in the dense fog and some of the ice we have had, and wind, we have had police escort taking them down the mountain to the North Carolina line and back over in. So I finally, even with the snows, I finally got, VDOT came down there and took a bus down the old 52, which goes like this, and you know it.
Yes.
And so they have given me a resolution that school buses, which weigh the same with the children in it as some of the trucks, may go down 52 now and shorten their route. They may go up it, but they have never been allowed down it. But we have new buses with dual brakes, and so some legislation is not necessary to resolve a situation. So I think that's a good thing, because you don't want to wait. These children are endangered. And I understand one VDOT worker wouldn't get on the bus, but he followed it.
Is that right?
I didn't say that on TV. But we're glad, because that's where our children live, and we want to keep our children safe. And I think this was Charles Poindexter had a bill on for 58. And it was interesting. We've had Lover's Leap that is one of the last portions to get done, and it's a very dangerous portion. And he has a bill where the bonding, it used to be once they were used, but he has a bill in that passed that says that after a bond is used and reliably paid back, it can be used with the $40 million that's already there annually once again, and keep a project sustainable until we can finish it. And I think Roslyn would probably agree with me that once 58 is opened and widened, that it will take both some freight traffic and passenger traffic off of 6481, and I think it will be a good thing. It will also let economic development happen down in Southside and lower Southwest, you know, along our border.
Yes.
So I look forward to that. No, the traffic is not there now. A lot of traffic is there, but obviously not the amount on an interstate, but I believe it will be a good thing. So I guess those road things, and I guess I would end by saying that between Roanoke and Bristol, there is a lot of economic gaps. And so Montgomery County, Wythe, and Smith have put in bills, two of them mine, at just specific points along the corridor to have mixed beverages allowed, because it's hard for us, and one of my counties does not even have, I won't name any names, but nationally known chains where you can go in and have a nice meal and a drink if you wish, that type of thing. And a lot of the race traffic in Bristol goes to Tennessee to sleep. And we think some of that tourism could stay in Virginia. So I like to say, instead of an economic Death Valley, we could be a Sunshine Alley.
Sunshine Alley.
Sunshine Alley. So it's a controversial bill, because it does have, the dynamics mean that some of the towns which already have these licenses, when the county gets them, some of them fear what it'll do their own economy. But I hope our towns and counties can work together and let it be a good economic boon and bring some jobs in for everyone. So those are
that's good.
minor locally
And
bills.
just to coincide with her, because we were just talking about the 58 bill, and it's going to come all the way from Southwest Virginia on 58 all the way to Virginia Beach. And that extends through my district in Southside Virginia, too, as far as road improvements. And one thing I think Annie B and I have in common in our district is economic development, and always trying to improve our education system. I think that's always our top priorities as we talk. And even though we might be on different sides of the aisle, we find our conversation very similar. And I think that's one thing I always like about Annie B, that we can share different stories and we can come up to some conclusions.
Universally, we're
That's
all
right.
alike.
That's we are all
We really
alike.
are.
And I think that you certainly are illustrating the fact that oftentimes differences are regional, even more so than
That's
political
right.
party.
Exactly right.
Oh, I think in Southwest Virginia, I think one of my favorite Southern gentlemen is Joe Johnson. And Senator Phil Puckett are both close friends of mine, and we work well together. And I think all of us in Southwest and Southside have to work together to get regional things done. You know what, I'm living on the 10th floor of Riverside this year, and the trains go by on the 6th floor. I watch 200 and 300 carloads of coal go. Last week they've been white from the snow, but I know they're coal because I'm looking down on them, and I say, the coal in Southwest Virginia does reach all the way through Virginia and does cause jobs all the way through Virginia. So it's been exciting to me. I get much comfort from hearing those train cars, especially between 12 p.m., 2 a.m., 4 a.m. But it's exciting to realize that what happens in Southwest Virginia affects Hampton Roads.
It does, it does. And even with the reopening of International Paper, and the city of Franklin has brought so many job opportunities back to Southside Virginia. And it's quite humorous because people used to always talk about the smell in the air. And people now say, well, the smell in the air means that we have jobs.
Amen.
So that is a blessing to have at least 200 to 300 jobs back in our little area in the city of Franklin.
That is excellent. We still have a couple of minutes. Any other issues?
Well, I guess the other big issue was uranium mining.
Right.
That was a big issue because that felt, I guess the intent was around Southside Virginia, but even though it's an economic engine, perhaps for the future of the Commonwealth, my constituents in my district just felt like that it needed to be studied a little longer, the environmental impact, the health impact. The uranium mining is not going anywhere, so just a time essence and beginning the way to approach uranium mining in Virginia.
And I went a couple of years ago to the Arctic Circle and went down through a uranium mine, and it mitigated for me some of the problems, but I think the main problem left is perhaps the waste product, the
Tailings.
The tailings, the radon, and I felt very strongly that I wanted to hear local government officials and state officials come together and have more agreement. That, you know, I would not want someone to come into my countryside and say, this is what you will do. And I think if they take the problems one at a time and mitigate what they need to, and that the people that live down through there can be comfortable with what the water will be and what the tailings will be, that the time will come, but perhaps it wasn't this year.
And Annie B. and I discussed this during our rural caucus. And as I go around from place to place, I always use Annie B. saying, she always says, you know, we can increase taxes, we can decrease taxes, but once we start uranium mining, it's not something that we can go back and do over again. So that's an important issue as we progress forward with uranium mining, to make sure that the regulations and policies are there, to make sure that our constituents, and especially my constituents in the Lake Gaston area where there are homes about $1 to $2 million, they're very, very concerned about that, and I would be too.
Well, I want to thank both of you for being on This Week in Richmond, Delegate Tyler, Delegate Crockett-Stark, and look forward to having a conversation with you sometime during the year when you're not in session about issues that you're working on for the next year.
That'll be great.
Well, thank you.
And thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I enjoyed being with Roslyn.
Yes.
I didn't know who was coming.
Yes. Great team.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
As we welcome our viewers back to This Week in Richmond, delighted to welcome Delegate Barry Knight from Virginia Beach. First opportunity I've had to have you on This Week in Richmond. Appreciate your being on to talk with our viewers about issues not that are important to your district and your constituency, but also important around the state. So what issue would you like just to start and tell them about?
Well, I appreciate being here, David. And, you know, I represent Virginia Beach. I have a very diverse district from oceanfront all the way down to North Carolina, along the Carolina line to the Dismal Swamp, and go all the way back up and all through Chesapeake. So I've got a big portion of all of the southern portions of Virginia Beach and Chesapeake. So, you know, we're a diverse state, but we're also a diverse district that I have. So it's pretty amazing where I can go and have the urban areas and plus have the agricultural areas. And I've had some bills in this year that are pretty unique, anything from some forestry bills to some bills to reaffirm that you can pot eels in Back Bay, on to being deeply involved in this transportation bill that we've got. So yeah, I've got a very diverse district, we have a diverse state, and I've got a diverse cross-section of bills, I guess, this year, if you will.
And our viewers who don't know you from other parts of the state would think Virginia Beach, urban area, but as you said, there's farming there, and that's been part of your livelihood too.
Yeah, it really has. I'm 3 generations removed from the farm, but went to go work for a farmer when I was very young, actually 14 years old, down the road on a dairy farm, and just kept working for him during the summers and after high school, and bought my own farm when I was 26 and primarily raised hogs, and I have been doing that since on my own since 1980 when I transitioned away from working for the farmer. So I have a agricultural district, you know, is the biggest geographic area. Of course, all of my folks live in the urban end of the city. So, you know, like I say, I have that cross section of bills with a lot of agriculture, and being a member of a farm bureau and vice president of the local farm bureau in Virginia Beach. They have a lot of bills for me to carry, and people do think it's a little unique that I carry farm bills being a legislator from Virginia Beach, but they don't understand, but I educate them real quick.
Yes, that's good. Now, you mentioned transportation, so update our viewers some about transportation, and let's tell them before you start that we're having a conversation here on Monday. They may be seeing this several days later, but you got a bill through the House.
Yes, yes, we do. We had a bill in the House. It was actually, we had 3 or 4 bills, and some of us legislators from Hampton Roads area had our own bill. The governor put a bill in, and the speaker championed that bill, and Chris Jones from Suffolk, my neighboring county, is greatly involved in that. And the Hampton Roads legislators, we have a unique area. We have Northern Virginia and Richmond and Hampton Roads. We have a lot of traffic there, and we don't have the roads, and it's so expensive to build the roads there because we just don't have lane miles. We have a lot of bridges and tunnels. So the Senate killed every bill that they had over there. The House carried the governor/speaker's bill, and we passed that with some modifications, and we're going to use that as a vehicle to flesh things out. We've got it in the Senate right now. Hopefully the Senate will pass it out. I'm sure they'll amend it. We'll put it in conference, which is typically 3 members from the Senate and 3 members from the House, but that's not set in stone. We can have a few more conferees if we want to, and we'll try to flesh something out. And I think what we're going to do at the end of the day, probably be some gas tax left in it, even though the governor took it out. Everyone understands you can't totally take away the gas tax, and we'll probably have a sales tax component in there, and we very likely may have a local option for Northern Virginia and Hampton Roads where our needs are the greatest, with maybe a ½ cent sales tax on top of that to get us a little extra money in those areas. So we're very optimistic that we can get some transportation funding and a transportation bill out this session before we go home in about 2 weeks.
Well, you're helping our viewers understand that even though the Senate killed the bill, that doesn't, their bills, it doesn't mean it's over.
That's right.
In fact, there's been comments made by ones in both parties over in the Senate that they were going to work and try to get something, get something passed. And you also helped educate our viewers some talking about a bill going into conference. And
that's right.
And when it goes into conference here in Richmond, it's in for usually just a short time because to get those get things worked out between the 2 chambers.
That's exactly right. Typically, when you have in the House of Delegates that we have the majority, we being the Republicans, we'll have 3 on the conference committee. 2 will be Republicans, 1 will be a Democrat, to get a little bit of support off of both sides. The Senate will probably be about the same makeup, and it would really be nice to have on the conference committee somebody from Northern Virginia, someone from Hampton Roads, and maybe someone from the rural end of the state, so we can, you know, balance it out with all areas of the state. And we hope that we can get it done in the next 2 weeks. If not, it's such an important deal that we may adjourn and come back in a few days and go into special session. We need to fix transportation in our urban areas, and 40% of the state's population is in Northern Virginia And then Hampton Roads has a big chunk of it also. So we need to get the people not only moving, but in Hampton Roads, the Navy and the port, which are our two greatest economic engines, said neither one of them want to expand or probably would expand if we didn't fix some transportation problems. So it is an economic engine for the entire state, because what originates in Hampton Roads in Northern Virginia goes to our inland ports and other parts of the state.
And as you mentioned, the session is short, 46 days, and if any of our viewers don't know it, we certainly want them to know that that 46 days counts every Saturday and Sunday, most of the time when you're not actually here.
That's right.
And so when you're talking about the days that you're actually here during that slightly more than 7-week time, there's not that many days. So if it takes a few extra days to get transportation worked out, it's well worth it.
Well, it really is. You know, we're a citizen legislature, which I really like. We're 60 days 1 year, which is our budget year, and then years that we don't deal with the budget, because we have a budget every other year, is a 45-day session. And we're citizen legislators. We're not like we are in Washington, like they are in Washington, D.C., where someone may live in Arizona and spend almost their entire life in Washington, D.C. I go home on the weekends, and I go home the other 10 months of the year, and I'm in my farm, and I'm drinking coffee with my neighbors, because I work for them, and they tell me what they want me to do and how they want me to represent them. So I'm a part of the fabric of my district and of the state.
Now, you first began serving in 2009, so a short time, but you've moved right up. I mean, on the House Rules Committee.
Yes, yes.
And which is a major committee as well as other committees.
Yes, well, as most of our viewers will probably know, there's 40 members in the Senate and 100 members in the House of Delegates. And when you first start, your number is 100. Right. And this is my 5th session. My seniority is 57. So I'm coming along fairly fast. I'm on Agriculture, Chesapeake, and Natural Resources, which is one committee for obvious reasons. I'm on County, Cities, and Towns, which we're a Dillon Rule state, and we allow localities, we have to give them explicit permission, and I was chairman of the Planning Commission in Virginia Beach for a few years, so that's a nice fit. Then I'm on General Laws, which is a catch-all committee, I guess, and I'm a subcommittee chairman there. And then last year the Speaker put me on Rules, which is pretty plumb, because the Speaker is the chairman of that committee. It's the smallest committee we have in the House, of only 14 members. And I'm on 4 committees, and it's not many people are on 4 committees, and I'm on 6 subcommittees. So that's a total of 10, and that's probably more than anybody else up here. But I like to work hard. It's hard work up here. A lot of days I'll get here at 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning, and I'll leave. Some nights we don't leave till 9:30 or 10 o'clock, some nights at 6 o'clock, but it's easily a 12-hour day. But it's still a lot easier than farming.
Yes. Well, and the farmers out there across the Commonwealth who'd be viewing this understand what you mean, and the rest of us appreciate the long hours that they spend in farming too. Really
yes.
do.
We've got some bills this year. One in particular that farmers will take of interest is Governor Bob McDonnell and his administration wanted to streamline some government agencies. And typically I'm all for streamlining it. But this one, they wanted to take the Department of Conservation and Recreation and roll it into Department of Environmental Quality. And the farmers don't like that, because farmers don't want to go to the one-stop shopping, because DEQ is enforcement. And for years, DCR has been our friend. They've been guiding us on our nutrient management plans and our cost share programs, and we don't believe that DEQ has the expertise to do that. So I've been fighting hard for that, and that's another bill that came out of the House, and what I believe is the correct posture, came over from the Senate going to DEQ. So now we have to go into conference, and it's the chairman of Agriculture is her bill, and hopefully the Speaker will put me on that conference committee, and I'll be able to fight for the farmers and do what's the right thing, cleaning up water quality, but having a peer review with the farmers.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have just another minute. Any other bill you want to mention?
No, I've got some bills that I have from forestry, and I have from farming, and I have from natural resources and Back Bay. I've got some for aviation. Being a pilot, I usually get the aviation bills. I didn't want to come up with any bills this year because typically I want to keep government small, and the bills that you kill are probably more important than the bills that you pass. So,
well, anyone can go on the General Assembly website, check on the members, go on your site, find out what bills that you're chief patron, and get in contact you here if they have any matters they'd like to talk with you about. So,
absolutely.
Delegate, I really appreciate your being on This Week in Richmond and helping to better inform our viewers.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Sure.
This Week in Richmond is made possible in part by Alpha Natural Resources, an energy company dedicated to respecting the land. Alpha Natural Resources, we power the world through the energy of our people. Everywhere there are lighting poles, there's one more opportunity to save money. Intelligent Illuminations provides cost-effective wireless lighting solutions for roadway or area outdoor lights. Kanawha Valley Arena, Virginia's cowboy town, hosts Civil War reenactments, ATV rodeos, mud bogs, diesel truck pulls, and high school rodeo finals. The Virginia Chamber of Commerce, the voice of the Virginia business community, working in legislative, regulatory, and political arenas to promote the free enterprise system. Additional support is provided by these sponsors. And by the members of Virginia's public television stations. Thank you.